Hey friends, I hope you're doing well. I've had a very eventful past few days, and a good eventful, of course. On Saturday, I had my first therapy session in approximately 10 years. I am finally in therapy again. And when I was an undergrad in college, that's when I last had counseling sessions for my mental health. But I felt that over the past decade that I've been doing pretty well, like maintaining myself and talking myself through things. But the truth is, over the past year, my mental health has worsened considerably, and it's been very like all over the place. And I figured with that chaos in my inability to talk myself through it, that it was time to finally get help. And thanks to very dear people in my life, my significant other, my friends, and my family, so on and so forth, they all kind of empowered me to do this. So I've been wanting to, like, I was thinking about all this the whole weekend because I really want to start doing videos reflecting on these sessions, not only to hold myself accountable and to help me reflect, but maybe in my experiences, I may be able to help motivate other people to get help if they need to get help too. So, because I know a lot of people are often afraid of therapy, they're afraid of reaching out, but the truth is, well, it's important to do so, especially if you really need the help. So, for my counseling session, the first counseling session is largely like the therapist is getting to know you. So I filled out a lot of paperwork, and then I had my first session, which was an hour. And we covered a lot of ground. Basically, my therapist was asking me a lot of questions, getting to know me, my history. I told her about my history with bullying. We talked about my history of sexual assault. We talked about like a lot of the emotional abuse that I experienced, especially as a kid when I was in school. And then, of course, we got into talking about a lot of my insecurities, and I know I've mentioned them a little bit here before, but I made a video a while back about self-deprecation, and I made it a point to talk about that during this session because I am always having these very distinct difficulties recognizing myself as being worthwhile and competent. If something happens where I fail at something, I basically take it as that failure as being a reflection of the person I am. And sometimes when I'm in a really dark, depressive space, those things often trigger ideation, like suicidal ideation for me. And now, like, I'm much more able, like, at least I'm able to recognize that. That's one thing that I was trying to talk to her about, is like the fact that I try to be very much self-aware, but I really discovered that I often say that I'm self-aware to convince myself that I am addressing things when really I'm just kind of, I don't know, kind of putting it on the back burner when I shouldn't be. So one thing that really struck me that she said, because I'm always apologizing. Like, I apologize for everything. I apologize for saying the wrong thing. I apologize for breathing, for existing, because I'm always believing that I'm an inconvenience on the people around me. And she told me, she was like, Donny, you have the right to exist within the spaces you inhabit. And that really, really resounded with me. And it... Sorry. I don't linger on it a lot because I try to not think about it, but I do have a lot of issues with belonging and not being good enough. And I kind of create this manufactured, unrealistic expectation of perfection that I'm always trying to meet, and it influences a lot. I also, obviously, I have a lot of insecurities with regard to masculinity and expression because I've just been taught my whole life that being a man, like, you're expected to look and be a certain way and act a certain way. And And that is a sign of respect and accomplishment. And it's something that I try to be very self-aware about too. I try to talk about it as much as I possibly can. But it's really difficult to unlearn something that's that ingrained that people around you continue to perpetuate sometimes. So, but she did give me some homework. She gave me this little like pie chart. So essentially for this pie chart, in the middle of it, I have to identify different events where I feel like I'm worthwhile and I'm competent. And then in the outer part of the graph, I have to explain like what my emotions are associated with that. So like, for example, one area that I feel completely worthwhile and competent is teaching. And the reason why I feel that way is because teaching helps me feel confident, valued, helpful, and needed. I also put this like down for creativity, for when people come to me for like insight, so on and so forth. I have like this odd insatiable desire to want to feel needed, because over time I've developed this belief that people won't want me in their life unless I give them a reason to need me. And usually that has a lot to do with listening. Like, I always am trying to listen to people, and I'm always afraid of saying the wrong thing or being too blunt with people because I don't want to lose them. And in my experience, I've just come to realize that losing people is very easy, but I'm trying to like rationalize it in the sense that maybe I lose those people because they aren't the right people to have in my life, you know. But yeah, like, I'm slowly filling this out. I'm going to have it finished by Friday. My next session is on Friday, and I'm really looking forward to it. But I'm looking forward. I'm really happy. I'm really feeling relief. I was a little scared at first, but it's very significant. Anyway, thank you for listening. I love you all, and let me know how you're doing in the comment section. It's been a while since I've asked that. Let me know how you're doing. And of course, per the usual, click like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. Anyway, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Bye.